494, 495, 496, 497, 498, 499, 500, 501, 502, 503!
Wow! Oh, man. I'm bored now.
What do you want to do?
You guys want to play a board game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds fun. I'll do that.
Well, what board game are we going to play?
What about Monopoly?
No.
Battleship?
No.
Sorry.
No.
Boggle?
No.
Pictionary?
No.
Trouble?
No.
The Game of Life?
No.
Clue?
No.
The new Clue, the like spies and the texting one?
No.
Just the humdinger section of Cranium?
No.
Jenga?
No.
Wait, what about Challenger?
What's that?
Challenger, it's the greatest game ever. Okay, what you do is, there are 3 teams of 2. I know we only have 3 people, so we'll just each have to be 2 people. Okay, you start. The 3-level board, you got to set that up with the pegs and the columns and the couches on each corner in the middle of each level. Okay, and then what you do is, we all shuffle a deck of celebrity face cards. And then we choose from the bottom of the deck who our celebrity will be. Then we choose from the pie of clay a color to represent ourselves and carve out of the clay whoever your celebrity is. Okay, ignore all that. Where you go from there is you roll the first set of dice. There are 5 sets of dice. There are colors. There are barn animals. There are a second set of colors that are exactly the same for no reason. And then there are 2 numbers, okay? We each roll those, and from the colors, we choose which level to start on, because there are 3 colored levels. 3 of the colors on the die make no sense and are useless. If you roll one of those, go home. So we each roll the color, and that's what level you start on. Say you roll red, you start on the red level, but it doesn't, the red's not always the top. It could be the middle, it could be the bottom. You start on that level. Then you roll the die with the numbers, okay, the first set of numbers. That determines how many spaces is your ending, okay? Each die starts, it has 300 on one side and goes up to 1,000, okay, in increments of 100.
Okay, hold on. So when you draw a celebrity face card, do you keep it face down or do you flip it over?
It doesn't matter. There are celebrities on both sides. You choose from the bottom, whichever side touches your palm, that's what celebrity are. You just toss it. It doesn't matter. Anyway, this is where it gets complicated because along with the colored die, there are colored cards. Okay, when you get to your home tier, which is what tier you land on by what color you roll, you choose a new color from a deck of colors, okay? There is the red card, which is green, the blue card, which is red, and the teal card. Basically, whichever of those you choose is what color you have to paint your lighter. But that doesn't really matter. You paint your lighter, you put it in your pocket, you forget about it to the end of the game. It doesn't really matter right now. Okay, so basically, the second die is what you roll. That's like a normal die. It's 1 to 6. You roll the die, and for every space you move towards the end red casket is how many eggs you put in your basket. For every space, you put an egg in your basket, okay? It's pretty simple. I mean, that's just self-explanatory. Your ultimate goal is to get from the first tier or the third tier to the first tier or the third tier.
So the blue cards are really red and the red cards are really green. So what color is the teal cards? I don't get that.
Teal card's teal. T-E-A-L, teal. Simple. Okay. So basically, you roll the normal number die, the 1 through 6. You roll that. You move the amount of spaces in the correct direction to go down or up, whichever direction you're trying to go. You move that amount of spaces. You collect an egg for each space. On the whatever space you roll, say you roll a 4, you move 4 spaces. When you get to the 4th, you pick from the 1 through 6 decks. Okay, if you roll a 4, you pick from the 4 deck. That will say an impression. You have to do an impression because the 4th deck is impressions. So if it says Sylvester Stallone impression, you have to do a Sylvester Stallone impression. And then we judge you on a scale from 1 to forever how well you did that impression. And based on how well you do for that, you move that amount of spaces. If we give you a forever, if we said it was the best impression ever, you move forever spaces, which is rolled by the forever dice, okay? Which is the dice that has a 300 through 1,000. You roll the forever dice, and if you get a 400, you move 400 spaces towards your next tier.
Wait. What do you do with the red castle?
Not red castle, red casket. That's the representation of Telvario, King of Death. But that doesn't really matter right now either, although that is the end of the game. What you do is, after you roll, say, a forever, right? You get a forever, you roll the number dice, you move 400 spaces. When you get to the 400th space, okay, this is when you've moved 406 spaces is when you enter the third dimension, okay? That's when you get your 3D glasses out of your Xavier pouch. Oh my God, the Xavier pouch, after you get 10 eggs in your basket, right? After you've moved 10 legitimate spaces, you get an Xavier pouch, okay? And for every nth to the third degree spaces you move, you get a new thing that's going to help you. Like, for example, the Xavier pouch, after 10 spaces, it just has all these really cool things in it that you're going to need to win the game later on. Like your 3D glasses, your alternate lighter, your pillows, and your sleeping bag. Okay, I forgot also to mention, if you roll your forever dice and it lands on the edge, which is possible because one of the edges is flattened a little bit, it's like a parallelogram. If it lands on the edge, you get to take the quick route, okay? The quick route in this game is called the snake route. And what you do is, there's a column through the direct middle of all three tiers shaped like a Christmas tree. What you do is you get on the Christmas tree and you can just shoot down sides of the Christmas tree instead of having to go down to all the corners and the escalators, the chutes, the ladders, and the elevators. You know, you don't have to do any of that. You go straight down the Christmas tree.
So what do you do with it?
Wait. How many eggs go in the basket?
You put, every time you move a space, you put an egg in your basket. But if you pass a blue Rex, which are those blue triangles on the board, if you pass a blue Rex, you have to eat 5 eggs before your partner. But in this case, you are your own partner. So it doesn't really matter. You could just eat the eggs. After you eat all your eggs and you continue to move on the board by rolling and choosing from the decks and whatever, at some point when the game chooses, you will become upon the Mirror of Hamtash. This is a little trippy. It doesn't really make all that much sense. Hold on. What you do is you stand in front of the Mirror of Hamtash. Physically, a 6-foot mirror comes with the game. You stand in front of the Mirror of Hamtash. You recite the poem that is in your sack of Jamsaz. You recite it towards the mirror, okay? Whatever the mirror says back to you, okay, you need to say 500 times by the time you end the game. Before you get to Telvario's casket, which is not a castle, okay?
Okay, when do you put on the 3D glasses?
When you reach the third dimension, as long as you put them on before you recite the poem at the Mirror of Hamtash, you'll be fine. If you don't have them on, you will have no idea what's happening. So, okay, let me explain the end of the game. You guys will understand everything else later. In order to win the game, you have to get to Telvario's red casket. Once you get to the casket, okay, if you're the first to get to the casket, you open up the casket. There will be 10 sheets of paper. You choose whichever you want, any of the 10 sheets, and it will tell you your fate. For example, I open Telvario's casket. I choose piece of paper 6. Piece of paper 6 says, for example, you've lost your cat. There's no more time for dinner, okay? That means you have to go back to whatever tier has the dinner setting. And you have to start from there and get all the way back to Telvario's casket to choose a fate again. The purpose of this game, the ultimate objective, and the way you win is to die, okay? So what you have to do is keep getting to Telvario's casket until you choose a fate that tells you your death. For example, I choose number 6. It says, you know, your cat got killed. You have to go back to dinner. You go back to dinner. You get all the way forever back to Telvario's casket. You choose, say, fate 10. Fate 10 will say, congratulations, your head's been cut off by a Moor. You win. That's how you win. The first to die wins Challenger. Okay? So you guys get it?
Yeah.
Want to play?
No. Can we do more jumping jacks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Come on. 0, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8.